Cinesmack contains spoilers of the spoiling type. If you don't want your spoilers spoiled, please turn back now. Otherwise, enjoy the show!
Hello, Cinesmacketeers, and welcome back to Cinesmack, the podcast that puts your, we won't say favorite films, but we'll say films nonetheless, into the ring to find out which one's better. I'm your host, Mike Keeler. Joining me, as usual, Tom Haggis.
Hey, everybody. I'm going to surprise some people tonight.
All right. Gabe Rowald.
Hello, everyone.
Sam Twomey.
Good evening.
And our special guest, and I do mean special, as usual in October, we always have Mr. Tosh Dillinger on. Thanks for joining us again, Tosh.
Hey, no problem. This year, I'm doing the podcast from a cottage in the woods, made of candy while sharpening axe, rocking a pretty cool top hat. So let's get this going.
All right.
Nice.
Well, let me poke the monkey here, and we'll find out what we're doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, witches and vampires, welcome to the main event! Tonight, Honest Abe takes on Sugar High Hansel and Gretel in a throwdown of historically inaccurate proportions. Who will get burned at the stake, and who will get staked through the heart?
Did you say steak?
In the first quarter from 2013, directed by Tommy Wirkola, starring Jeremy Renner, Gemma Arneson, and Famke Janssen, Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters! In the second quarter from 2012, directed by Timur Bekmambetov, Gesundheit, starring Benjamin Walker, Dominic Cooper, and Anthony Mackie, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter!
Let's start round one, which is writing. Go get it, Ray.
All right. Well, with Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter and Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters in the ring tonight, I think just even the titles kind of hint at the quality of writing in these two films. And that's just right off the bat. I'm not sure that I felt like the writing was very good for either of these. They're both pretty campy. I just really, when I was watching Hansel and Gretel, I was just really thinking, wow, this is just really cliche. It's really terrible. There's no character development. They're just moving these characters from one witch killing scene to the next, and that's all there is to it. And I don't know what there is to say about writing on these two, except that Hansel and Gretel is terrible, and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is a little less terrible.
Whoa, let me jump in here. Gabe, you ignorant slut.
Yes. One thing I did appreciate Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is some of the kind of historical nods, such as his son dying mysteriously, which actually really happened. He died of some mysterious disease. Nobody knows exactly what it was. And those kinds of things. I felt like there were some interesting twists with the history. It was a little bit more fun. It was a little bit more thought-provoking than Hansel.
I agree, Gabe. I think that Abe Lincoln took it a step further. I think I would give them credit for being even more thoughtful than you would be. But, yeah, I didn't see much development there in Hansel and Gretel. Like some reinvention of these classic characters, but not a lot of substance, in my opinion.
Okay, hang on. No, hang on. Okay, let's take a real quick count. Has anybody read Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, the book?
I have.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
What's a book?
The book is amazing, and it's this wonderful story, and it's very detailed and everything else. And I have no idea why Seth Graham-Smith took his own book and just butchered the hell out of it. And he took out some of the best characters, and he added other characters, and the character of Adam isn't even in the book. And they took this really great novel and turned it into this Hollywoodized piece of crap. And I'm sorry, but Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter was completely, I mean, it's like it didn't know if it wanted to take itself too seriously or if it was going to have fun and kind of, elbow you in the ribs. Whereas Hansel and Gretel was honest right up front. We're like, look, we're going to have a blast here today, and you guys are going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to blow up some fucking witches. And I thought,
sorry,
I got
done.
They didn't do camp well. I thought they were trying to be campy and just didn't hit the mark.
Really,
I get what you're saying, but they just were not campy. It was just bad. And there's a difference between being intentionally campy and just being really shitty. And I felt like they were just on the shitty side. Well, and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter may have ruined the book, but it was infinitely more interesting to me. And sure, they had a little trouble with tone. Should we be, should we take this seriously here? Is this kind of funny or not? They had a little bit of trouble with tone, but not nearly as much as Hansel and Gretel. It was just terrible.
Look, I could understand it if like the studio bought the book from Seth Grahame-Smith and then butchered the hell out of it. But he wrote his own screenplay. He seemed to, I would assume he knew what he was doing. When I saw the trailer, I was so excited. I'm like, yes, this looks fantastic. And then to sit here and watch it, and I'm like, what did you do? And they ruined the book for me. I can't go back and read the book and enjoy it in the same way I did before. He cut so much depth out of the book, completely pissed me off. Hansel and Gretel, I thought it was fun, and I thought the camp was great. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And
did we watch the same movie?
Yes, we did. We did. And
Did you watch Hansel and Gretel Baked? I saw that was an option.
I saw that.
In my opinion of Abraham Lincoln going forward for tonight is gonna be tarnished by how much I love the book and what they did to it. And Hansel and Gretel's gonna benefit from that. I'll be honest with you there. But I thought
ways that I'm not tethered to the book, because I thought Abraham Lincoln was an enjoyable experience, and the setup for it and the writing, I thought it proved for interesting storytelling.
No.
Yeah.
I honestly believe if you had read the book first, you'd be with me on this, because I mean, we're getting different viewpoints, which is the whole point. But I honestly think 20 years from now, Hansel and Gretel is going to be a cult film, and people are going to be sitting around and drinking and getting high and watching it, and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is going to be just forgotten.
Wow.
Well, for me, it's hard. I think in some ways I have more of a connection with Abraham Lincoln as a character of literature, or because he's a historical character as opposed to these characters of literature. So even on their premise, to me, I'm more drawn to Abraham Lincoln and some of his exploits and weaving in of some kind of pseudo past and some way familiar. But I think Abe Lincoln's a strong figure. People want to see him kick ass. Hansel and Gretel, they're like, yeah, okay, they're killing fucking whatever's popular of the time. Great. Witches, not vampires. So.
Right. I think that the movie executives for Hansel and Gretel said, how do we stretch this kid's fable to 1 hour and a half of pure crap? Yes, let's have them hunt witches. Brilliant.
It was 87 minutes for the record.
So they didn't even make an hour and a half. Yeah, that's how much material was there. I go to kids' movies, and I'm really disappointed when they're only 87 minutes long, because it's like, oh, hey, this wasn't,
I don't care as long as it's good.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, they didn't have anything there. They just had no material. It's
my god, it was so good. Are you seriously? I put it in my in my cart in Amazon because I want to watch it again, but.
The problem here is that I respect you a lot, Tom, and I'm actually very surprised you're saying this, because I thought Hansel and Gretel was very terrible.
I completely understand, and we've talked about this before, how expectations kind of dictate how much we enjoy a movie. And I saw the scores for Hansel and Gretel, and I'm like, this is going to suck ass. And 10 minutes in, I was completely hooked. And I'm sorry, I was expecting a really, really horrible movie, and I only got a pretty good movie out of it. So.
It has redeeming qualities, which we'll probably get into in later rounds.
And getting back to the writing, then I would say that if those are the things you like, the historical little connections that they do with Abraham Lincoln, the book, and you can't do this in a movie, but the book goes way beyond that. I mean, they're talking like, moving from town to town, just as Abraham Lincoln did, and, overlaying this, the story of this vampire hunter over this actual story of Abraham Lincoln. And it just kind of weaves in and out of reality and fantasy so well. The movie just sucked. I'm sorry, but I was so disappointed.
We always get into this though, like if there's a film based on a book, because, let's take Dan Brown's work. The books are such a fast read, and I really enjoy them. The movies come out, they have to leave out certain stuff. Like you said, they can't take an entire book and put it into a film unless it's going to be, 3 or 4 films. And I don't know. I really enjoyed the book, and I enjoyed watching Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter because I was just able to shut my brain off and just have fun with it.
Sure.
See, and there you go. That's it right there. With the book, you were actually able to like mentally stay engaged, and it was entertaining, and there was a little bit of an intellectual level to it. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter was just like somebody going, duh. And
you just kind of shut your brain off, have fun with it. Where in the book, you're, like you said, you are more engaged. You're actually thinking about the history. Where this, you're just kind of following around the history.
It was a studio if a studio had screwed it up, it's forgivable. But the fact that he did it to his own novel just completely pisses me off to no end.
Can I share 2 of my favorite lines from Hansel and Gretel? Yeah, one of them is, if you're going to kill a witch, set her ass on fire.
Yes. That's what did it for me.
And then
this will get into acting too. And maybe if his delivery of that, I really want to like Jeremy Renner, but I kind of don't. And his delivery on that was terrible. That it would be funny from somebody else.
Well, let's get that
again. They don't pull off the camp. I think maybe that's the acting and not the writing. But
yeah.
Anyway.
And my other favorite line was, "Whatever you do, don't eat the fucking candy." I mean, it just writes itself.
Yeah, and that's another part I hate.
Okay,
the whole candy thing where he has to do a shot with a turkey baster or whatever the hell it is he uses. He'd leave a hole in his body so huge. That's just so dumb.
Dude, it's a movie about people killing witches. I mean, there's a certain
but it doesn't mean we have to
level of suspended disbelief.
Okay,
you have
just
to go
real
into.
quick, before we run out of time, is there anything positive you can say about the writing for either film? Because we're being pretty negative about the whole thing. But is there anything?
I had one line in Abraham Lincoln I liked.
Yeah, what's that?
If I ever see you again, I'll have your balls as a toy purse.
What? Yeah.
Think about that for a second. It makes your voice go high.
Yeah. I actually thought about where the hinge would go.
Wow.
The little clasp that come off the end.
Keep your lucky penny in
positive. Is that positive enough, Mike?
That's positive enough. You thought about it. Thanks, Sam.
To the bigger thing, I thought the story, to talk about the story structure in Hansel and Gretel, I thought that was much more interesting than Abraham Lincoln, like, oh, he killed my mom, and now I'm going to go get him. Again,
and by interesting, you mean totally predictable?
Abraham Lincoln? Yeah, it was
totally
incredibly predictable.
No, not Abraham Lincoln.
Terrible.
What?
Hansel and Gretel was totally predictable. I knew what was coming, like, when the movie started.
Okay.
You knew that.
You
knew
guys.
Gretel was a witch from the very beginning.
No, I didn't know she was a witch, but I knew that
that's the
other
big twist.
woman was going to be a witch, and then it's like, well, it's her mom, and then her mom's, or whatever, that woman came in.
Okay.
I assume that was her mom. I don't remember.
All right, we're
This
done.
is horse shit. I just want to say this is horse shit.
All right,
this
we're
is
done.
a witch hunt.
We're done. So
you
we're done. All
say
right.
that. You've been thinking about that all week.
I was saving that for the overall. Fuck it.
all right, Tom, what's your vote?
Hansel and Gretel.
Tosh.
I'll take the dude with the axe for my pick.
All right, Gabe.
I'm going with the top hat.
And Sam.
No vote.
Sam.
No. I'm definitely going with Abe Lincoln.
All right. Okay, gentlemen. Wow, I like this. We're actually getting some smack. Let's move on to acting.
I like Jeremy Renner. I think he's very good in Hansel and Gretel. I've enjoyed seeing a lot of his performances for many years. He's silly at points in this movie, which he's done some really serious work lately, so that's fun to see. You can obviously tell he's having a good time with it. But I think the ensemble in Vampire Hunter is fairly strong, and I think Abe Lincoln obviously looks a little bit better than he would have in real life and whatnot, but it's kind of a believable cast. And I guess we can talk about like their aging makeup later, but for the most part, that was realistic. I enjoyed their performances that were slightly over the top and helped kind of weave the feel of the movie all together. Hansel and Gretel tried that in some ways to kind of give a wink, wink, nudge, nudge at certain times as well. And I didn't buy it all the time there. But there was some really good work done with some other gory effects, which we'll talk about later. But some of the reactions to those, special effects in Hansel and Gretel was quite impressive. So for me, this was a tough one. But I would probably say, to start the discussion, I would probably lean toward Abraham Lincoln.
Jeremy Renner is one of those guys that I'm really kind of like, I really don't want to like this guy. Hurt Locker really wasn't, I didn't really like that much. Sorry, but he's one of those actors that's really hard to get me to like. But recently he's kind of catching up to me, and I'm starting to like him more and more. I don't know why he gets to do the Bourne movies and Mission Impossible. That just seems unfair. Like, spread the wealth. But I thought him and Gemma were absolutely fantastic in Hansel and Gretel. And I could have used probably 5 to 10 more shots of her ass in those pants, but
sure.
That's more of a directing thing. So we'll get to that.
Yeah. But there's something we can agree on in Hansel and Gretel. Yeah. And I'm a little bit with you. I kind of have the same opinion. I kind of actually want to like Jeremy Renner, but I end up kind of not. And I don't know why. I feel like his performances in many instances have fallen just a little bit short. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I was actually really excited when he started doing the Bourne series. I was like, oh, he'll be cool as, the next agent in the Bourne series. But I was actually really kind of disappointed. And that's a whole nother discussion. That movie is a weird movie. The ending was so weird in that movie. But anyway, I seem to be perennially just a little bit disappointed with his performances, and I don't know why. I want to like him, but I just end up being kind of slightly, I don't know, I'm left wanting more from him. I feel like he's capable of more.
You should watch him in Dahmer. He's amazing.
Now, see, there may be performances, he may be one of those guys who's a little bit like, oh, heaven forbid I say it, Nicolas Cage, where sometimes Nicolas Cage,
sorry,
sometimes he's brilliant, like sometimes, rarely, but sometimes, but many times he's just kind of like, what? Really? Is he even acting, or is he just being kind of like a really... a really boring version of himself. I don't know.
I compare him to Keanu Reeves. He has that dumb look always. I felt like he phoned it in on this movie. I really did.
Jeremy Renner?
Yeah, I thought it was just a freaking money grab for him personally. Sometimes he was an accent, sometimes he wasn't. He went in and out of it all the time, and maybe I didn't see the same movie you guys, but I thought he sucked. And maybe just because I hate him. I do. I don't like him at all.
Wow.
Whoa!
Yeah,
he was great in The Town. That's the movie that won me over.
Oh no, that's one I haven't actually seen yet. Thank you for mentioning
I didn't.
that.
You know what?
I'm going to put that on my list because I need to see that.
I didn't like him in The Town either. I thought Ben Affleck carried him in that. I truly do. I did not like him in that.
You mean Batman? Batman carried him in that.
Okay, all right. Well,
Batman.
The acting in Abraham Lincoln. So I want to tip my hat to Dominic Cooper. I thought him playing Henry was the best actor in the entire movie. I thought Benjamin Walker was I didn't really like his Abraham Lincoln that much. I kept wanting it to be Liam Neeson or Daniel Day-Lewis doing it.
But you know what? That guy kind of looked like Liam Neeson to me.
Yeah, every now and then I thought so too.
Yeah.
I was
like he's like a young Liam Neeson.
Well, sorry when they started piling on the prosthetics and stuff on his face, but I thought Dominic Cooper as Henry was absolutely fantastic. He was my favorite part of the whole movie, I think.
Well, and I have to say, I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead is just adorable, and I don't know that her performance was really stellar, and I was probably biased because I just think she's absolutely adorable. But I felt like overall that cast was stronger and did a better job, even with the, I even kind of like Anthony Mackie, who played his childhood friend. He didn't have a very big part, but I kind of like him.
I thought Winona Ryder was great.
Winona Ryder.
What?
Kidding.
What?
Sorry.
I'm looking at IMDb going, what? I just,
No, I liked Abe's casting a lot better than I did Hansel and Gretel. There wasn't like this huge movie star per se in that. I think that kind of helps the story. It didn't distract me like with Jeremy Renner because I hate him so very much. .com. And yeah, so I thought Abraham Lincoln.
What's that URL again?
I hate JeremyReiner.com. We can do that for our domain name this year.
I'm not sure everybody's on board with that.
I'll do it.
Especially Jeremy Renner.
And that's when we got a cease and desist. Sorry.
But think of the media attention you get though to the podcast. So if we got a cease and desist, it would go crazy.
That's true.
Our numbers would be huge. So I'm just throwing it out there.
Wow, we're like 12. No.
Yeah.
So I service both movies. I don't. They're not necessarily. It is what it is. But I thought they both did a good job.
I don't know. I just felt like the performances were stronger in Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
All right.
Come on. God.
Where are you leaning, Tosh? Are you more Abe?
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
I also hated the witches acting in Hansel and Gretel because it was bad. Like half. Maybe it's just because maybe it's a directing thing, but like the prosthetics they had in their face, like half of them couldn't even move their lips when they talked. It was kind of distracting. Do you remember that? Like the witches are talking and like their mouth is not even moving because they have so much crap on their face. So I don't know. And then like they're like their acting was like just like I don't know, making noises and growling and stuff. So it was kind of distracting. But at that point in the movie, I was just like, okay, let's get this over with.
Well, that's a good point. And by opposite of that, Abraham Lincoln, I think their smaller parts, or that he were hunting, they were all really good. They were all even strong in small bursts.
Yep. Yeah, and each one of the vampires was unique in its own way.
Right. Where all the witches look like albinos. So.
Did anybody watch the last scene where they were blowing up like 60 witches at a time? There was one without legs.
They were all very different.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but the makeup people and designers did a great job. Come on.
All right, you guys ready to vote on this?
The designers did a good job, but the performers weren't necessarily as strong, I think, that's where in acting. So
I don't even know why I do this show anymore. Y'all getting on Abe Lincoln's Johnson, guys.
Don't make me sing my song.
Do it. Do it.
Oh, no, I can't. Maybe towards the end.
Yeah, you have to.
Maybe towards
Talk about boosting our ratings.
All right. So every time I hear Abraham Lincoln, like just read it or someone says Abraham Lincoln, I think back to the Two Live Crew song, which was Abraham Lincoln was a good old man, jumped out the window with his dick in his hand. He said, "Pardon me, ladies, I'm just doing my duty now. Pull down your pants and give me some booty."
Nice.
There you go.
Well, I'm changing my vote.
Thank you. I knew I
should have been in the movie.
All right. Let's go ahead and vote, guys. Sam.
Abe Lincoln.
Gabe.
Lincoln.
Tosh.
Honest Abe.
Tom.
Hansel and Gretel.
Oh.
Suck it. Is my mic on? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I reached to turn the volume down, and my lips were faster than my hands. So, suck it.
All right. Well, speaking of some of the people having problems with the witches, in an interview with Famke Janssen at Cannes 2011, she stated that she took her role as the head witch because she had to pay off her mortgage. Jansen has stated multiple times that since 2007 she was prepping her writing directorial debut, Bringing Up Bobby, where funding and distribution had gone through hard times, partly due to the 2008 economic crisis. She also had not done much acting in that period of time. So she just stated that she did it for a paycheck. And Tom Hardy was approached for the title role of Lincoln, but he had to turn it down due to scheduling conflicts with The Dark Knight Rises. Later, Eric Bana, Timothy Oliphant, Adrian Brody, Josh Lucas, James Arce? I don't know if I'm saying his name right, and Oliver Jackson Cohen were considered to play the role before Benjamin Walker was cast. I think Timothy Oliphant could have added something to that, but that's just my opinion because I'm a fan of Justified. Let's move on to directing.
Okay, well, now I'm going to give some love to Abraham Lincoln, guys, I don't want to be left out of the party. The action sequences, I would have to say that the special effects sucked ass, but the actual direction in terms of like camera placement and the following the action, I thought was pretty good in Abraham Lincoln. So on the other hand, it goes back to the whole thing that it just kind of felt like it was taking itself a little too seriously, and Hansel and Gretel was just more fun for me. I just, it's a movie I'm going to go back and watch again and again. So, okay, now you guys talk about how Hansel and Gretel sucks.
Well, there was some nice cinematography in Hansel and Gretel. Although I felt like it was nice, but it wasn't, I don't know. It just got the job done. It wasn't really necessarily all that, artistic to me in many respects. It got the job done, but it wasn't, but I felt like there was a lot more interesting, inspired cinematography in Abraham Lincoln. This is, I won't be able to say his name right. Do you know how to say the director's name of Abraham Lincoln? Timur Membetov.
There you go.
Membetov.
That's good.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah.
He also directed Wanted, and it was very much kind of the same thing with these crazy,
stylized,
time shifting kind of things.
Yeah.
Where it would go fast and slow, and the camera would move all over and that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of it may have been, visual effects that accomplished that. But I just felt like it was a lot more interesting in Abraham Lincoln. And I thought the characters were a little bit better developed. And I think that has a little bit to do with the directing. I don't know. I just felt like Abraham Lincoln was just a little bit stronger than Hansel and Gretel from the directing standpoint.
I agree with Gabe. I think it was a little more stylized to me, and I know Hansel and Gretel is highly stylized as well, within its own fairy tale world. But I wanted to go into the past of the Abraham Lincoln story, and I really kind of relished seeing a lot of those big sets. I think the way they incorporated their special effects was very great. It had a big scope to it to put you back in that time, the sweeping time, so the Civil War and whatnot. And I think they did a better job than Hansel and Gretel, which I felt a lot of times, even though they had some really great effects, which I guess we talked about in overall, some good choices with some of their gorier scenes. To me, a lot of it was like, oh, they're on a soundstage and it's dressed up. And I guess that's really not direction overall. There was some nice cinematography in both of them, but I felt that Abraham Lincoln created more of a mood with the movement of the camera. And I think this category is going to go to Abe Lincoln again.
I thought in Hansel and Gretel there was no flow or balance on this movie. They couldn't decide if it was going to be a comedy or a horror movie, and they kind of said, "Oh, let's screw it, let's do both." And by both, we suck at both.
What?
Wow.
That's
And then
what I just said about Abraham Lincoln. You can't do that.
I can.
No,
and I will.
No, you can't.
and both movies kind of steal, once again, The Matrix, things from 300, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And, it's this day and age. It's like you have to steal stuff from other movies because that's what's hot now. It's like, oh, we need to have like, okay, we're not going to have bullet time, but we're going to have arrow time, or we're going to have axe time, going through the tree really slow. It's like this day and age is like, I just want someone to do something original, and I get that's what people like, and that's why I do it, but it just kind of, I don't know. Though the one shot in Abe I really thought was cool. I don't know if you guys remember, the vampire head was like turned upside down and it was detached from the body, and he was by the grave, and the camera slowly panned out and they see the moon. I thought that was a pretty cool shot. I enjoyed that. I'm like, that's pretty sweet. Maybe you guys didn't, but that for me is like, that clinched it for my vote. I'm going definitely Abe.
I mean, as far as the directing goes, it's kind of a wash for me on both of these. I think Abraham Lincoln, if it's going to win the category for me, it's going to be Caleb Deschanel's cinematography on Abe Lincoln, because there was some very beautiful shots in there, and it wasn't just all, the nighttime shots were real good, but throughout the film, the entire film, even when they were like in his office and he was working, it was just beautifully lit and just absolutely, it looked like paintings a lot of the time. And, I like Caleb Deschanel's work. Jack Reacher was another one that he did that was really great. And if this wins, for the record, it's going to win on cinematography.
All right.
I can agree with that. I felt the same way. I felt like the cinematography in Hansel and Gretel was kind of like I said, it was suitable. It was good, but not great. It was like a step above like an average TV show or something. It's like it's not terrible. I wasn't looking at it going, oh my God, who did the cinematography? But it just didn't really have a lot. It wasn't very stylized to me.
They couldn't afford a good person to do it because they had to give money to Jeremy Reiner. So
who did do the cinematography?
It doesn't matter.
Michael Bonvillain did it. He did Cloverfield and Zombieland, which are two movies that
both very nice, actually.
Very well shot films. Yeah. So I was kind of surprised too that, it was kind of like he was held back a little bit. Maybe it was a money thing, I guess. I don't know. Well,
and maybe it could be that could be, we could associate that maybe to the directing, what the director wanted out of it. And
that's true.
And you can't make Jeremy Renner look good. I'm sorry. It just...
What?
Dude,
you really don't like him, do you?
He's a man.
I am. This is okay. Whatever.
Are we doing Cinesmack or are we not? We're just gonna do hold hands. What are we doing here?
It's officially Cinegrump. Okay.
Well, I want Cinnabon is where I want.
Let's just change it to Cine. Everyone get along, because that sounds way better than Cinesmack. Gosh, sorry for having an opinion that Jeremy Renner sucks ass. Sorry.
All right, let's go ahead and vote on this.
All
Tom.
right.
What?
Tom.
Abe Lincoln.
Gabe.
Abe Lincoln.
Sam.
Abraham Lincoln.
Tosh.
I vote to reelect Abe.
All right.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
I'm trying to find... I don't have really a whole lot of trivia for the directors. So we'll just move on. We'll go to our fourth and final round, which is overall.
Sweet. Okay. For any Cinesmackers that know me on this, I usually take this over and make it my own segment. So I'm about to do that again. This is called Random Thoughts by Tosh Dillinger, and feel free to join in with my thoughts. Okay, I'm going to start with Hansel and Gretel. Anytime I see an MTV Space logo come up before a film, and it's not a Jackass movie, I know it's going to suck.
Whoa. Election was awesome.
Sure.
And that was one of the very first ones.
Seeing MTV films, though. But I don't think that's necessarily a death sentence, Tosh.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to...
It's pretty close.
You know what? When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, they're still around. They're still doing movies." That shows you how many of them I watch.
I found the cartoon after the opening on Hansel and Gretel way more entertaining than the actual film.
That was actually pretty well done. Right.
That was the height of the film, and it was 5 minutes in the film, and then it just went downhill from there. No? No one else? Okay.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
All right.
What? No, what was that? It went downhill after what?
After that, the cartoon beginning, the cartoon where it shows them like growing up, killing witches and getting older. Do you remember that at the very beginning?
Yeah.
Hansel and Gretel. Yeah, it's like an animated sequence,
That
title
was
sequence.
kind of cool, though. I kind of liked it at the
No,
end.
yeah.
That's
no,
what he was saying.
I totally liked it. I'm saying that was the best part of the movie.
Well, no, I think the explosions and the blowing the heads up and stuff, that was the payoff. Like the really gory, kills. Like that was like, yes, this is what this movie should be. But like you said earlier, Tosh, the movie didn't know what it was going to be. And if it was, marketed one way or the other, like if it was a little bit cleaner, which it could have easily been cleaner, it would have appealed to more of a younger crowd, PG-13, and made a lot more money. Or if it went all the other way, it could have had more of the gore elements or something, but
More
just didn't know what it wanted to be. I mean,
More nudity,
it was
right.
really good, but it
Right.
was,
Yeah, if you're gonna go R, you may as well show some titties.
exactly. That's my rule.
Yeah.
I'm more of an ass man, so I was very happy with the film.
Oh yeah, that was okay. Too.
Did we ever figure out what time frame this movie happened? Because they have a record player, and then
It's a fair. Oh my! Are you
and
serious?
then we have machine guns, but goddamn it, we have no electricity. I mean,
And Abraham Lincoln had vampires. I mean, I've never seen one. So when did that take place?
don't
Because
worry, I'll get to that. Just would you hold on? Just relax. Okay.
I'm just responding to your little editorial page. Go ahead.
Yes. You guys remember when Hansel is punching the witch over and over again while attached to the chain? You guys remember that? Like the very end, like she's in the cottage and she has it chained up.
Brilliant.
Did you feel that was like Rocky 2, like where he's punching the meat slabs?
What?
No, it was exactly the same thing. Go watch
Okay.
Rocky 2. It's exactly the same. They stole that from Rocky 2. I'm not kidding. Hey, Gabe, did you feel bad for the witches like I did? I feel like, they're albino and they fear the fire like we fear the sun. I kind of related to them in that way.
No, not really. I didn't feel sorry for the witches.
I did. I mean, they'd have better tans than us, but I mean, I
Yeah.
felt,
Well, I do.
I thought they
feel
were dumb, so I wanted to see him die in this. It was like, oh, come on, you dumb witches. And even the lead witches were kind of like, reminded me of The Craft, and I'm just like, oh, God.
If you want to talk dumb people, let's talk about little Will Lincoln. Like, oh, hi, lady, sure, kiss my wrist. Let's see what happens. So,
He was just a kid.
he's 9 and his dad's a vampire hunter. His dad should have taught him some very basic things. Don't let anybody ever kiss your wrist. If they're
Now,
going
what
for your
happens
wrist,
in the book?
what happens in the book?
Yeah, with Will.
The vampires eat him, but
Yeah.
or they bite him, but still, the way they did it, it's just
way smarter in the book. Way smarter.
it was much more intellectual. They were talking about the theory of relativity while they killed him. It was
Yeah. They actually created light speed while killing him.
yeah.
Did you guys,
And then Albert Einstein kicks down the door and saves him. What?
That's right.
Did you guys hear they're doing
That's a good idea.
spin-offs from this movie? Did you guys hear
What's
that?
that?
They're doing some spin-offs of this movie.
Of which one?
Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, they're doing sequels.
No, Humpty Dumpty Wall Hunter.
Fuck you. I walked right into that, you asshole.
Three Little Pigs Wolf Hunter.
That was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
There was an old lady that lived in a shoe, Child Hunter. It's
Child
crazy.
Hunter.
Yeah, because that's what
She should be a shoe hunter, shoe shopper.
shoe shiner hunter. Now I'm gonna switch gears to Abraham Lincoln. Why in the Ken Burns documentary about Civil War was there no mention of vampires? Did he run out of time?
Because Ken Burns is a vampire.
Well, no, you can't capture them. Capture them in a mirror, so you couldn't capture them on film either.
Ah, see? There you go.
Yes.
That's it. So every time there's like this like landscape, they're all right there. It's
They're
landscape.
there. Yeah, you just can't see them.
Yeah.
Oh my god, a video editor is the perfect job for a vampire.
So during Abraham Lincoln, they had sunscreen during that time.
Yeah, I know, because I saw him doing that. He
Yeah,
put
and
on
they
sunscreen.
had these really cool looking sunglasses during that era. I mean, that was kind of
Well, it was funny. I did think I saw an ad in the Abraham Lincoln one that said, like, sun potion or something, like it had just come out.
Now, one thing I kind of liked about Hansel and Gretel was, and it relates to that, is the the missing kids on the milk bottles.
Oh God,
I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, it's kind of campy, kind of funny.
kind of campy. It's like, yeah, it's bad, but it is kind of funny.
So if you're a
it doesn't, Hansel and Gretel doesn't kick as much ass as it claims it does, whereas Abraham Lincoln kicks a lot of ass in a short amount of time, and Hansel and Gretel, it's like, yeah, go play with your little fairy tale world. I'm done.
Okay, well, okay. They're making
you
a
just drop
sequel.
the mic?
Did he drop the mic?
I just imagine Sam saying, "I'm done," and just dropping the mic and walking away.
Well, then he doesn't get a vote, right? He doesn't get a vote.
I didn't drop no mic.
What's the rule on that?
Do you have a separate mic, or is it actually your laptop?
Just
If it's just your laptop, I wouldn't
I'm
drop
dropping
the
the
mic.
laptop.
Man, he was pissed. He threw his whole laptop on the
Yeah.
floor. Damn.
If you're a vampire and you could be invisible, why wouldn't you just stay invisible the whole time?
Maybe they can only do it a certain amount of time.
Did they define that rule?
I think they mention it in the book, but
In the
I don't
book,
think
yeah.
they mention it in.
I had to look up the whole silver thing for vampires because I was like, are they kind of munging?
Like the werewolf kind of
Yeah,
thing?
but
That's
apparently,
interesting.
the whole silver harms vampires thing is not new by any means.
Another weird thing was, they make this rule: the dead can't kill the dead, and they try to attack each other and something stops them. What is that force that stops them? Like,
Yeah, I'd never heard that before. Had that ever been said anywhere else?
No, it was
Kill another vampire?
I don't.
It's like a force field stopping them. Like, what is this force field?
Yeah, yeah. Tom, do you remember that in the book?
That's not in the book.
Yeah, I was gonna
No.
say it's not. Yeah.
No, because they kill each other with quite a bit of intensity in the book.
Yes.
And
They do.
yeah, and Edgar Allan Poe is in the book. There's a really there's a whole great section of the book that takes place in New Orleans between Edgar Allan Poe and Abraham Lincoln, and it's fantastic, and it's really awesome. But nobody gets to see it.
They don't even make a reference to that in the movie.
Not even make a reference.
I won't disagree with you that it is disappointing to read a good book and see it made into a movie and have it kind of ruined. I can definitely see your disappointment there.
I am incredibly disappointed.
And anyone out there listening, if you're a bad guy or a bad girl, if you meet the hero, if you meet the hero in the first act, you better kill the hero. I mean, it's a given, or you're going to die in the third act. It's learn that from this podcast. If you meet the hero, kill him. Okay, believe that? Good. Moving on.
Okay. Can I add one to your list?
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing about Vampire Hunter that bothered me a little bit is so that first vampire that killed Lincoln's mother, he goes and finds him and he shoots him in the face, and the ball gets lodged in his eye, and then later on we see him, like years later, he still has the ball in his eye. I'm like, why wouldn't he just take that out? Why would he leave that there?
It's to remind him of his pain and suffering, Gabe. So later in the movie,
I was like,
but later in the movie, he can get revenge.
I could see his eye being like sewed shut or something, but
That's brilliant writing.
Still being in there when he could easily remove it.
He obviously doesn't. He obviously doesn't have a problem with balls in his face. God, I wish I could have said that without laughing. Can we redo that?
No.
He obviously doesn't have a problem with balls in his face, Gabe.
Okay.
Tom,
Yeah.
Tosh, you've
did you
eaten
hear?
up all
Did you
the
hear
time.
they're doing a spin-off of this one?
Yeah, I did. Oh, hang on. Are they?
Did you hear about this?
What's it called?
Jimmy Stewart, the new vampire hunter.
Jimmy Stewart.
Well, get over here, you little fucking vampire. I got a steak for you. It's not even medium rare.
And then finally, Obama, the Congress hunter. No.
Nice. All right.
Okay, one last thing.
Oh.
I promise.
God.
This
I'm going to
is
hit
wrap
mute
up.
now,
Promise.
and we're going to continue on with the show. Just go ahead and
Okay.
keep talking, Tosh.
Okay, this is a little statement for me to the podcast world. I've been on here for some really crappy movies, and I think it's time, pretty please, to let me do some good movies for once, besides October. So any of our listeners out there, tweet out, bring back the albino, hashtag. I'll be searching for that on Twitter. Hashtag bring back the albino. Not for October, some other podcast in the future. Bring back the albino.
Nice. All
I'm out.
I'm out. All right. Do you guys have anything to add to that since we've gone over our time limit?
I just want to point out that Hansel and Gretel is getting a sequel that they said is going to totally kick ass. So Hansel and Gretel will be back in the theaters. Abraham Lincoln, how does his movie end? Heading off to the theater. No sequel because he gets shot in the head by Lee Harvey Oswald, who wasn't in the movie. Did you know Lee Harvey Oswald was a vampire? No, you didn't, because they cut that out of the book. They cut that out of the movie. So y'all missed all that. And Abraham Lincoln becomes a vampire. Henry saves him and brings him back. And
That's
Abraham Lincoln is looking over Martin Luther King Jr. at the end of the book.
Yep.
So it's freaking fantastic. You guys should read it.
Get
but
out
I
and read
just ruined it, didn't I? Shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Spoiler alert.
there's some other cool stuff that happens in it.
It's a fantastic book. I'm going to read it again.
All right.
You know
let's
what?
vote.
I never thought if you had told me that Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter was a great book, I probably wouldn't necessarily believe you. But I do. I believe you.
You don't believe anything I say anyway, Gabe. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm starting. After you've defended Hansel and Gretel so vehemently this evening, I'm starting to question.
Was I defending it vehemently because I was going for passionately? Shoot, I overshot.
Yeah, maybe.
I would say nobly.
Nobly.
I
don't know. I think if I was going noble, I wouldn't have given it the direction to Abe Lincoln. But damn it,
Screwed it
I gotta
all
work.
up,
I gotta work on my noble and passion.
All right, we got to start over.
Good.
Just kidding.
Start over.
All right,
Back to round one. What?
Gabe, what's your vote?
For overall,
Yeah, I think that's what we're on. I don't know.
or am I voting for one of Tosh's
No,
list
overall.
items? I go for Abraham Lincoln.
All right, Tom,
Hansel and Gretel, better movie.
Sam,
Abraham Lincoln.
Tosh.
Abe Lincoln, Jim Miranda, you suck.
Wow.
.com.
.com. Hashtag bring back the albino.
Give it up. I hold the keys to the Hover account.
It's true. All right. Wow. That was exciting, to say the least. I still love Humpty Dumpty Waltz. That kicked my ass. That was great.
And you get more of that with hashtag bring back the albino.
All right. Well, while I try to do math once again, let's move on to your guys' recommendations for this month. And we'll start with, I'm going to point at the screen. Stop. Sam.
Well, this month I'm going to do something a little strange. I'm going to recommend something I haven't seen myself, but it's on my list. Around every October, I love to watch lots of horror movies. I enjoy them most this time of year. And so what I'm going to be watching probably this week, because it just came out, is Curse of Chucky. And basically, it's the most recent incarnation in the Chucky series, and it kind of reinvents the doll a little bit. Has a lot of the original characters, same voice, and it looks interesting. It's direct to Blu-ray in this case and DVD, but it has pretty high production values. It looks like, and for anyone who's looking for a new, original, fun horror movie to watch this Halloween season, I think you should check out Curse of Chucky. And if it sucks, then know that I will have watched it too and wasted my time as well. So it's kind of hold harmless. Check it out, Curse of Chucky.
Sam, I don't know if you mentioned this last episode, or maybe it was the episode before, or maybe it was even after we were done recording, but you were talking about Room 237.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I should have totally taken your advice and not watched it. Because it was bad. But anyway, sorry. Gabe, you're next.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with another movie directed by the gentleman whose name I cannot pronounce, who directed Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I'm going to recommend Wanted because it's kind of the same idea, kind of the same crazy over the top type of action, and but I found it very enjoyable nonetheless. I kind of went into it with what Tom was talking about before. I had low expectations for it, and I actually kind of ended up enjoying it a little bit. Plus, on top of that, it's got Morgan Freeman in it, who I think always makes movies fairly enjoyable. And it's just got a lot of great visual effects, a lot of great camera angles and movement, and it's just kind of a fun movie.
All right. Thanks, Gabe. Tosh.
My movie is a horror movie. It's Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, I still haven't seen that yet.
If you want to see a horror movie that doesn't take itself serious, watch this. It's produced by Josh Whedon, who made the terrible movie Avengers.
I'm gonna kill you in your. I mean,
Nice one, Tosh. Save albino or whatever hashtag.
Basically, it takes everything about monster movies and turns it upside down, and it is freaking awesome. If you want to see a good design of monsters and a story that you have no idea what's coming, I totally recommend it. And I'm not going to tell you more because you can spoil the movie for so many people, and there's a big twist in it. I'm fantastic. Cabin in the Woods. And by the way, I just tweeted up hashtag bring back the albino.
all right. Thanks for the horrible recommendation, Tosh. Tom.
I am completely tapped out creatively. I don't like horror movies. I don't really like Halloween. So watch Hunt for Red October. It's pretty good.
There you go.
It's October, so I don't know.
And Tom
Watch
Clancy
that. It's
just
pretty
passed
awesome. It's a submarine.
away. One ping only, Pizzelli. One ping. And he just passed away too. Like, what was
Me?
it? No, Tom Clancy.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, Tom Clancy.
Oh, yeah, just recently.
Recently, Tom Clancy, who wrote The Hunt for October, died, and that's a fantastic movie with Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin. You guys should check it out in honor of Tom Clancy's recent death. Thanks, Mike.
Yep, no problem. Like Gabe, I'm going to recommend a movie directed by Tamir Bekmambetov, whatever. And I was actually lucky enough to see this at the LA Film Festival when I was out there. And it was just Amanda and I went to see it, just taking a chance on a film. And it was fantastic. And it's called Night Watch. And it was made over in Russia. And it's kind of this Russian story about good versus evil and how they have this uneasy stalemate. And they also did a sequel called Day Watch. Now, after that, they were going to make a film called Twilight Watch, I believe, or Dawn Watch or something like that. And it hasn't come out yet. It was meant to be a trilogy. But I really like the creativity in the film. Just some of the effects, even though some of them are cheesy, you can just really start to see Tamir's style start to come out of those films. I would recommend Night Watch, and then if you enjoyed it, go watch Day Watch. Both of them are highly stylized and a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and move on to Poking the Monkey. Let me grab my stick, and here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Your winner by decision is Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter!
It's completely rigged. Good. I don't know who got to you guys. I don't know how much you got paid, but this is ridiculous. Hansel and Gretel is a better movie.
Tom, where can
Yes.
people find you on the web?
People can find me on Vimeo, Twitter, and Facebook, not in that order. And if they want to get in touch with me or any of the guys we've spoken to today on Facebook, you can check out our new URL, IHateJeremyRenner.com. And for those of you who are fans of Jeremy Renner, you can also check out our Facebook page at ILoveJeremyRenner.com.
Wow.
Yes, I will be on that one for sure.
Yep.
Wow.
2 URLs,
That's awesome.
1 website.
Did you
It's
actually
up. It's
register those?
up, and they are actually registered. Go ahead, try them out. They're up and running right now. I hate JeremyRenner.com, and I love JeremyRenner.com.
I'm going there.
I'm totally typing this in.
Go ahead, type it in. Type it in.
Nice.
Huh? You're
can't
kind of
spell.
quiet for 5 minutes.
You pointed them to the Facebook page.
Yes, I did.
Very nice.
That is awesome.
Is there somewhere else I can point them?
Nope. That's
No, that's good.
Okay.
that's
We
awesome.
need 130 likes, folks. Just one more, and we've got 130.
One more. Do it. Tell your mom.
One person, please like us.
If we get 130 likes, I will run naked down the street.
He does that all the time.
We'll attach a GoPro.
I live on
to
a
it.
cul-de-sac, so no one's going to know.
All right, Gabe.
You can find me on Facebook.
That's nice, Gabe. Sam?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Go ahead, Gabe.
You can also check out our 48-hour film team website at onegenomes.com.
Thanks, Gabe.
Yep.
Sam.
You can definitely find me on Facebook, or if you want to know more about the 48-hour film project in Des Moines, you can find me at 48hourfilm.com/Des Moines. Next year is going to be our 10th year, and we've got a lot of stuff that we're already starting to plan for. So we're looking for new teams of filmmakers, and if you like this podcast, you're probably into filmmaking. So check us out.
All right. And thanks again for being on, Tosh. Go ahead and tell people where they can find you. Send hate mail.
I look forward to winning 48 hours next year, Sam. So thank you for doing that. And yeah, I threw that out there. That's right.
I guess.
You can win $5,000.
You can find me on Twitter at tshed4041, or you can just search for the hashtag Bring Back the Albino. I mean, you'll find me. That's it.
The albino.
Not on Facebook. Anti-Facebook.
We should have the challenge. Like, if he gets so many, we should have him back in November or something.
All right, let's do that.
Champ.
If he can get, they
50.
can't be all from the same person.
Right?
And I'm not going to say it's going to be for November, but we'll have him on before October.
Oh, that's easy. You know how many followers I have? Like millions. Millions.
And-
I said
but
if he
they have
do,
to
like,
use-
something great, like 1,000, and he can
Yes.
come back.
1,000. That might be pushing it a little bit. Let's shoot a little lower. Let's say 10.
No, let's go with 20. We'll say
2.5?
20. If you can use Tosh's hashtag, and you've got to send it to Cinesmac, our Cinesmac Twitter feed. You've got to send it to that. And what's the hashtag again, Tosh?
Bring back the albino.
All right. It has to be at least 20, and we'll bring him back before October. Otherwise, you're scheduled for next October already.
Is this Twitter exclusive, right?
Yes, Twitter exclusive. All right. So,
Look at that. We got 2 already. Boom.
and I also want to say real quick, we were talking before the show about what we were going to watch next month. And I found the hidden gem, which we were all talking about, the crappy Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie from 1994. And it's on...
So Roger Corman one?
Yes.
Wow.
And it's $14.95, and I'm going to buy it. And then one of these Cinesmacs, we're all going to watch it, and we'll have to do commentary for it, because just looking at the screenshots, it's god awful, and I can't wait. But you can follow Cinesmac and Southsider Studios on Facebook and on Twitter. If you have anything you would like to tell us, anything you would like to share, or just tell Tosh that he sucks, you can email us at cinesmac@gmail.com. And for November, we head to space as Moon takes on Gravity. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch Gravity. I almost passed out during Rush. Good talking to you guys. I could see I just had you. So you cared about me. So for Gabe, Tom, Sam, Tosh, and myself, thanks for listening, and go catch a flick.
See you in space, bitch.
It was kind of Jimmy Stewart on Breaking Bad, kind of.
This has been a test of the Southsider Studios podcast system. This was only a test. If this were a true lack of entertainment, your head would explode. Go to iTunes and subscribe to our feed. Just search Southsider Studios.